Greece, Turkey, back to Italy, Spain, and then from Spain, we actually did a transatlantic crossing, which took us to Alicante, Spain, the Azores, Bermuda, and Fort Lauderdale. It was 12 days, and I think we spent 8 days at sea.
Wow.
Yeah,
What cruise line was that?
that was what was it? Celebrity.
I mean, was there enough to do on the ship to,
Yes. There's enough to do on the ship for as long as it's sunny or decent out, and as long as there aren't 22-foot seas, there's plenty to do. But if you get that 2 days in a row, aside from finding a bar and sitting down,
right,
the activities are a little. I mean, you can't see a musical or even a magician in 15 to 22-foot seas. They just can't stand on the stage. So
right.
we had
That's
two
some
days
big
like
seas.
that. Was that
That's some big seas. Yeah, that's got your attention, right?
it was it wasn't uncomfortable. I just don't think it was uncomfortable. They just can't be on that stage, while it's me personally, I didn't think it was bad.
Well, you've been on the boat a lot. Yeah.
I'm on a boat a lot. But yeah. I mean, Alicante, Spain is the Hawaii islands of the Atlantic, and they're absolutely gorgeous. Never would have thought they'd been like that.
Wow.
Like I would go back there in a heartbeat and stay for a while. So
Really?
Nice.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Ponta
What was
del
it?
Garda was just ridiculous. There and Alicante, Spain, my two favorite places.
Hmm.
So, yeah, yeah.
Was Spain as expensive as Hawaii?
No, I know. What's funny is I didn't think anything was expensive except for Bermuda. Bermuda was
Right.
up there, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Um,
prices are high here.
you what?
The prices are very high here, but it's all Australian dollars.
Mm,
So when you convert it over, it's like a third less. So
yeah. A gallon of gas in Bermuda was $10, $10 to $11 for a gallon of gas.
that's about here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And a
that's not bad
watermelon
either.
was $22. Can you imagine that?
Well,
I did manage every little port town, every place we went. I did actually inquire about chiropractors. And I have to tell you, everywhere I went, there were multiple chiropractors. No, let's see, except for Alicante. Let me think now. Where was I? Was that Alicante? No, it was Punta del Garda and the Azores. They only had one, but there's less than 100,000 people on that island.
It's a good ratio.
Yeah, yeah, right.
that's about Norfolk was when I moved in there.
Yeah, and every place else had more than one chiropractor, multiple chiropractors. So it was cool. Even Turkey.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's big chiropractic's big here. Everybody goes
Yeah, I
to a
know.
chiropractor. My family, it's just amazing. They're all into holistic type healing. I think Lori's had more
Excellent.
fun with talking about shamanism and Reiki than
Ah, that's excellent.
wild. Yeah.
Terrence, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. My
Okay.
video's just misbehaving.
Okay. No, and you never know when you ask what kind of response you're going to get. And I have to tell you, across the board, it was very positive, very positive. Just about, I'm see of, I didn't do many tours, um, uh, organized tours. A lot of the time I got off the ship and got in a taxi and said, just take me here, or how much will it cost me to go here? Because it's a lot, quite frankly, it's less people.
Yep.
You
Right.
can see more, do more if Most of the time you pay about the same or less, sometimes a little bit more. But I think pretty much across the board, everybody that drove us or yeah, pretty much across the board, everybody had either been to a chiropractor or had one. So
Good
A
stuff.
lot different than it was 30 years ago.
yeah, yeah, yep, yep. So um couldn't get into too much about whether they paid cash or whether, most of these places have their healthcare is paid for. Um, it really didn't get into that, but it was all positive. I was surprised, honestly. So
Well, it makes you wonder how the offices are there and what they're doing and right. What's the story they're telling, right? That's the
yeah, yep,
interesting thing.
yep.
How about you, Brad? How's it going in Australia?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. We're in Sydney, which is a lot like New York City, except there's a lot more beaches. There's like 20 beaches
Mm,
in Sydney, and they're all gorgeous. They're all along the bay. They have these great hikes along them. People are fit. You don't see very few obese people. Everybody walks everywhere. It's a little crowded for us. We're right in the middle of the city, and so it's kind of we're over it. We're getting ready. In fact, we're getting ready to go on a cruise this afternoon
nice.
to Queensland up to the Great Barrier Reef. So we're going north. This is a huge country. You don't realize it until you get here how long it takes to get around if you want to go to any of the major cities. But it's really great. And the best part for me is I have so much family here that I've never met. Heard stories about them, maybe getting a Christmas card now and again, but just reconnecting with family or not reconnecting, but connecting with family has just been what an incredible experience that was. And everybody's had their arms open and just showed us a very good time. I had a Michigan hat and I shared it with the husband of my one of my cousins, and he's retired, but and now he's going around go blue. He's a Michigan fan forever. Now he's getting me a St. George Dragons hat, which is a rugby league uh, um, rugby team. That's his team, so I'm going to be go Dragons. So it's pretty fun. It's a lot of
Is
fun.
it rugby or Australian rules football?
This one's rugby league, and it's different than rugby union. Rugby union is more like what's played in the States, what Steve played with the scrums. Rugby
Hmm.
league is more free flowing, from what I understand.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
don't know the difference.
really kind of fun to watch. They're just getting into their season, so it's been pretty cool. Cricket's big here, huge.
Right.
That's been interesting to see. You're driving around the cities and you see all these Australian rules football teams and rugby pitches and cricket. I don't even know what they call cricket fields. It's just amazing. Like we see soccer stadiums and football
Baseball.
fields. Yeah, and
Yeah.
baseball. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Way cool.
Well, good. Very good. Now, is somebody a chiropractor over there, Brad, or just you?
Uh, None of my family are chiropractors. But they all go to them. They've all been to them. In fact, my one cousin was telling me that her chiropractor hurt his back and he had to have surgery. And now she hasn't seen him since January. So, well, it's time to
Yeah.
find a chiropractor. But to me, it's mostly pain relief, back pain, headaches, that type of thing. It's
Are
gotten,
you straightening them out? No pun intended.
um, you know, they've been more interested in Trump and Harris than they have. It's pretty wild. That's been pretty wild being over here with that.
Yeah, I found that my experience was the same. The Europeans and didn't matter who we were. I mean, ran into some people from Budapest and even the people from India. They were sometimes they were more educated on our politics than I was because I just don't watch, the news like they do. And interesting conversation with a British guy, and I say, hey, the funny thing is you know so much about our politics. I know almost nothing about yours. And he was like, well, don't you follow it? I said, we don't have an option. I mean, unless we get a BBC channel or we go looking for it, it's not on our television all day, every day. Ours is on their telly all
Right.
day,
Right.
every day. We just don't get it. And he was like, that's interesting. He would have never thought that. So,
They're very interested and very concerned.
yes.
And they have a very skewed uh, um, view of what goes on in America. They
Yeah.
think that everybody's running around with guns and shooting people, and it's pretty crazy. It's very, very, for us, left
Well,
leaning.
I am from Baltimore, so that is pretty much the norm.
They have a lots of rules here, lots of regulations. This is an overregulated place. They can't talk about vaccines. Chiropractors can't discuss vaccines in
Right.
Australia. You can lose your license. But even something,
Australia is much more socialist than we are.
yeah, oh, much, much, much more.
Yeah.
The government subsidies. They were telling me unemployed people, they get like $1,000 a month just handed to them. It's great. It's crazy. The
Get more than that here, or some cases, huh?
the law the
Right.
laws the laws are enforced very closely. Like I had to drive, and they have all these roundabouts, and I'm not used to driving roundabouts, but you can't speed because they got cameras watching you on speed. And don't have a cell phone in your hand. They've got cameras looking for
Wow.
people with cell phones in their hands.
Talk about Big Brother, huh?
It
Right.
really is. It really is. But the people here are wonderful. Everybody's friendly. It's
Good.
relatively clean for a big city.
Well, sure, they're friendly. They have to be.
They start taking money out of their bank account every time they're grumpy, right?
Everything is fine.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Fine. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Terrence, you were in Florida, right?
We were
You
there
weren't
for
out in the country, but you were away.
yeah, we were down in Florida for 3 weeks. Yeah, it was good. Very relaxing. Very nice. Good spot.
Claire's well.
Claire's well. They found a home to buy, so they're getting ready to
Nice.
meet at next month. Yep, close in a couple weeks, and then it's about a mile and a half from where we're at, so that's nice. And yeah, we saw our Kelson's new baby granddaughter Ada, and then Connor and his wife were due at Christmas, so a son, a grandson. So very excited about that.
Yeah.
Stuff. Good stuff. Yeah.
You're going from zero to what? Three really quick.
Yep. Yep. And I would not be surprised if there's more next year. So
I
Wow.
wouldn't be surprised either.
highly highly competitive siblings. Yeah.
Go
So
forth and
They
multiply.
out there they are McCulloughs.
there you go. There you go. So we had our Epoch meeting last night, and so first I was telling Rebecca that kind of an ongoing frustration of mine that uh, there's not the enjoyment that I think we had of talking chiropractic, particularly one of the statements I made is that early on that I said all chiropractors are liars. I said they tend to leave out the most important part of the story, which is the scars or the challenges or I always said at Schofield it was, yeah, I was seeing 100 a week, and then I started training, and now I'm seeing 1,000 a week,
Yeah, right. Right.
and leave out all the guts and grit in between there, and that happens frequently. But uh, also in the same breath that some of the folks forget about the evolution. So one of the docs who's our age pointed out somebody on the Tank, which is that Daniel By group, saying some stuff about HSAs or whatever. And whatever they were saying, he perceived it as being kind of unethical of what they were maybe going to do. And somebody else, in turn, saying a patient had left him who had been a patient a long time, former staff, and uh, found a new chiropractor, and that chiropractor did new x-rays, no charge. And the patient was Medicare, and Medicare was going to pay, right, once a month or twice a month, and that's what, they weren't going to have to pay anything, right? And he was just aghast at that. Again, someone who's our age, and I just stopped and I said, now listen, everybody in the room here, everybody, I said, I probably did more free x-rays than anybody in this room, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I
Mhm.
said, that's what we did. That used to be what we did. I said, but also sometimes people, that's the requirement, to meet people where they're at to get them care. And not everybody's going to come 3 times a week. Not everybody's going to pay. Well, we're 45. I mean, most of the people in the room are probably 65 or
Yeah,
70 in adjustment. But nobody, that's back to my same statement of, first of all, on one side, that the two other guys, I'm like, that's part of what got you to where you are to do what you're doing, which is a good goal, right? We all should have that. But then in talking to Steve Elliott today, we were talking about it, and I was like, and he said, you got to meet people where they're at, and and make your decision at that point. Um,
absolutely.
and that's, because my concern in the whole group is there's not a lot of people seeing kids, there's not a lot of people seeing families. So if you make your stand on, quote, my fee is my fee, or I have to get $70 an adjustment, for my value or my work, right? And that's your choice. I'm not going to disparage that, but this is not the blue collar roots of chiropractic. Um, and the idea of Mike, your uncle, serve more people by serving more people. That there's got to be some meeting place of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm throwing
No,
it out.
no, no. I know exactly what you're saying. I have a buddy that has a lot of restaurants, and he has a saying all the time. He says he serves the masses, not the classes. You can come in with a family and eat very well, very good food. His profit margin's lower, but he's going to serve a family of 10. If your ticket for two people or your check for two people is $350, yeah, now you're serving the classes. You're not going to get the families. I think the difference is his is a restaurant and everybody has to eat, right? We're chiropractors. Everybody absolutely should get adjusted, but we're not there where everybody, is everybody's going to pick a chiropractor,
Right.
right? So we have to serve the masses. We don't have a choice. So
Right.
with that
But
statement said,
don't you think too that the fact that you just had this trip, and Brad, you're having this trip, and everybody's doing this, is though rooted in uh, the previous generations of serving more people
yeah.
while serving more people,
Mhm.
and what is acceptance then gonna just then uh
Well,
because there's nobody's fighting.
the other side to that, Terrence, is like you said, we've had the ability to come alongside of people and find common ground, right? And then build the practice on that. And at some point we can draw the line in the sand, I mean, we're not going to give it away to everybody forever, but we've educated enough people that we can do $45 a visit, right? So
Right.
we, and in doing so, we've served so many people, and we can afford to do these things after the fact, right?
Right.
And I don't want to say we did it for that. When that's the point is we didn't do it for that. We did it for the service.
That's exactly right. Because the the group, and I'm trying not to name any, is like, some people are there for, finances, and some trying to
Hmm.
build an empire, and some trying to, uh, I don't even know, as opposed to it kind of was before. And particularly, I think your uncle and Sid Williams, that, build. And even for me at National was Jancy, who was more science based, but it was still like serve the people with your hands and your heart. And the more you can do, the better it will be for chiropractic, and the better it will be for the health of our nation and people, because it's natural as opposed to anything medicine has to offer. And uh, that the group as a whole, or the individuals as a whole, are not really thinking that way
Mm. Mm.
anymore. Again, drives us back to our conversation of I really don't know what they're teaching at the colleges, or what the thrust is, because the one guy in the room who is young, 2 years out of practice, is like, his mission is to someday go back and share with young chiropractors, what the reality is, not what they were taught. Uh,
Right.
and I said to him, well, why are you waiting? You go back.
Right. If he's already having that thought process, then we're right. What is he waiting for, right?
Right. And then our same question, how do you get in,
Hmm.
so to speak? And it shouldn't be about getting, I guess our information shouldn't be confrontational, as opposed to, I think, like we said, go sit in the cafeteria, whatever that is, and put a sign up on, what's the sign say on the table? 40
Yeah.
years in practice, come talk to me, or
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. There's got to be a sign.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
It makes me. I have this thought, and I'll make it. And I wonder sometimes, 40 years in successful practice, and come talk to me, makes me wonder if these kids even think we're relevant. You know,
well, yeah,
why would we not be? Right? Hell, we're sitting here talking about our house in Florida and a trip to Europe for a month and Australia and how many people we served and the lives we've uh, literally changed and the great families that we have and the kids. And why would we not be relevant?
You want to have a
Right?
great life, would definitely be relevant.
Yeah. And sometimes I think, I don't know, I don't know what I think. I don't know why I think why wouldn't we be relevant, except I feel that way. And I'm intuitive enough to know that maybe, I'm getting that feeling from a group of people, or are they just afraid to come talk to us?
right,
And I think it goes back to what they're learning in school, like you said, Terrence. I remind my Sam and the peak doctors that we have is that school is designed to do one thing, and that is to give you enough knowledge to pass the boards.
Yes.
right,
Really, that's all that is. And
Right. Right.
you learn to practice in practice, and it depends
Mhm.
on what your mission and your vision is. If your mission is to make enough money so that you can buy a house in Florida or take long trips, that's not sustainable because there's never enough money. If
You
your
said,
mission is to serve as many people as possible, then you go out there and you keep your fees reasonable and you adjust entire families. One thing I learned from CJ many years ago, chiropractic has to be profitable for the doctor, but also has to be affordable for the patient. And if you have
right,
these $75 adjustment fees and then throw on top of it rehab and therapy and what have you to get a $200 or $300 office visit, yeah, you can make a lot of money. But as you said, Terrence, it's not bringing families. It's not spreading the word of chiropractic. It's not really fulfilling our vision and our mission. So it's incumbent upon us to reach out to those younger doctors to try to shift their paradigm so it's not about money based, it's about service based. And I think,
right,
so, right. So, if we're talking about meeting, coming alongside the patient and meeting them in a space they're comfortable in, and then pulling them along to where they need to be. And I think that's what we're talking about, right?
yes,
right,
And whether it's financially or whether it's what they believe as far as healthcare goes. And th- that's a compromise on our part as far as what we could possibly charge fee wise. Does that same thought process apply to young doctors? What is that space of comfort that we need to come alongside of them with? you know?
Well, yeah, how do you come in and put your arm around them and say, let's talk, right? And
Yeah, let's talk. I mean, and is that a sign that says 40 years in successful practice, come and chat with me? I mean, that's not, I don't think that's
yeah,
fearful.
yeah, it should be, or yeah, here, I'll tell you the truth, or yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I guess you'd have to experiment. Be like, you have to spend 5 days and put a different sign up each day.
Well, we know what one sign would say. What would the other one say?
Well, yeah, you might have to be so bold as to say, yeah, uh, then sometimes then you have to put numbers, right? Then it's numbers. And
Yeah,
and
I think
I think that's a shame when you have to put numbers up to get respect. Yeah.
I think one of my I think a sign I would say I put a sign up that would say uh, um, I'm not angry or mean and grumpy. I'm just frustrated. I'm really a nice guy. Come ask me some questions.
Exactly. Uh, how much student debt do you have? Uh, Here's a solution, right?
Yeah, yeah. Let me help you out of that. Mm,
How
mm.
about you, Brad? I don't know. I was,
I'm just worried about security coming up and escorting us off campus.
Depends on what school, right?
Well, I don't even know what school. I mean, go down to life. Do they really want to? Do they want anybody to challenge their system?
You know, it's interesting you say that, Brad. I was quite a few years ago, I was invited to go and teach at one of our chiropractic colleges, and prior to going in a day or two before, we were sat down and told that we could not challenge the professors. We couldn't say anything to negate anything that they were teaching in their classroom. And I'm like, well, then I'm going to be quiet. I couldn't say much.
right.
And then, you know, we did this confrontational, this drill on, you know, how to say that the instructor was wrong without saying the instructor was wrong. And that's the challenge is, I mean, you're going to go in there and you're going to say almost the opposite of what some of these, not just the instructors, the administrators.
Right. No, agreed.
So,
Yeah, and you're right. It's a good chance you're going to get escorted off campus, um,
so
but
again,
that
brings
really
up the question,
should be
how,
the
how,
goal, though. Yeah.
how do we meet them in a space that's comfortable and then start turning the tide?
Well, I think the first thing is you probably do go into the cafeteria and do that, and then you go from there because there'll be
Yeah.
maybe one person or two people or three people, and then it's like, well, who's your group or who do you know,
Mhm.
right? And then you try to keep building from there, and maybe you're right next door, right, on a room or on the in the parking lot next door, um, with a megaphone or whatever,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
I think
Well, you
back
know,
to
when Brad,
I think back to your uncle with his free chicken dinners.
yeah,
We get a hotel room, free pizza,
yeah,
and sit down, make a connection with one person on campus and get the word around that we're going to have a special meeting. Remember how when we were at Ashboro Village, they used to have
we had
programs,
the clubhouse.
the clubhouse there.
That
They were probably some of the best um, meetings that we've ever had.
wait, at one meeting we had Sig, Fred Barge, and I want to say Jimmy Gregg. I can't remember who else was there. Nah, yes, probably. I don't
Maybe
know.
Chuck Ribley.
No, no, no,
Now
no.
Chuck wasn't
It,
one,
it was either Ian Grassam or Jimmy. I can't
something
remember
like
which
that.
one,
But
but
yeah, I still remember that like it happened
yeah,
yesterday.
yeah,
How awesome is that, right?
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, the other thing I said is that the meeting was the concern now is that the only people we have with voices are the excuse me consultants. You know, you have Zano or
Yeah.
Dan Sullivan or this Russ Rosen, or I don't even know who these people are trolling on the internet. But if you look at all of them, when they really say what they're saying, they all say they're not appealing to chiropractors anymore. They're appealing to health entrepreneurs. So they've shifted their marketing to acupuncturists and naturopaths, and because they don't think they can make it just with chiropractors, and so thus they're not chiropractors anymore, right?
Right.
They're not defending our turf, and it's our turf that built all those other people's turf, um, paved the way, right? That fought the battle, and that
Yep.
just to me that just means every one of them just sold out. They just they're just trying to charge an expensive consulting fee.
Yeah. 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 And the flip side of the coin is that we still have guys out there that are trying to do that don't even have the background or the credibility to do
Yeah,
it, and they're still doing it, right?
They've never done it.
absolutely.
They've never
Never
done it.
done it.
They're telling other people
Yeah.
how to do it. So
Yeah. And again, I mean, we've had this conversation before. I know you can be a field goal, you can be a coach in the NFL as a place kicker and never kicked a field goal in the NFL. I mean, I get that. I do get that. I think it's apples and oranges though, you know.
Right.
but the
It's
most
not,
successful ones are
I know.
those that have experience doing that. I mean, look at if you're talking about the NFL, look at Detroit with Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Coming in there, and he was a former NFL player, and he just created this culture. And he has his whole team will run through a brick wall for him. They'll do
Yeah, I
anything
know.
they can for him because he has credibility.
Mhm.
And I think that goes a lot further than somebody else. But on the flip side, you got Andy Reid, um, who
Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, right?
exactly, but they
Then,
came up through the
then
ranks.
yeah, yeah. I still don't think, I don't think it translates well to what we do, just because I think what we do is so multifaceted compared to kicking a football.
Well,
Plus it's
look what happened to medicine when they put the MBAs in charge instead of the docs,
oh
right?
yeah.
30,
Yeah,
40
yeah.
years ago. They shifted all the used to be doctors were in charge of every hospital. It was care based. When they brought the
Yeah,
MBAs in, it became profit based.
yeah,
And it's the same thing in our profession.
right.
We've achieved equality with dentistry and medicine. Yay.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So you know what? It makes me think, if your goal in our profession is just to bill a large fee and make a lot of money, then yeah, maybe your consultant is an MBA or not a chiropractor. But if your goal is to serve humanity and make a difference and get people to think alike and become one in health and spirit and ultimately in living, then yeah, then you want us. You don't want the MBA.
Well, maybe
well,
that's
yeah, I
the,
mean,
maybe
that's
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 the sign that we put out there. What do you want? What's your lifetime goal? Do you want
Yeah,
to serve
right,
people, or do you want to just make a buck?
right.
We can help you do both.
We can help you do both, right?
That's
yeah,
the thing. People
If
think
if
that,
your if your goal is just to make a buck, look, I met a guy on this cruise that owns nail salons. He's got two nail salons. He makes way more money than we have ever made. If your goal is just to make a buck, go do nails or go sell
yeah,
cars or
yeah,
go
don't
do
go into
real estate.
chiropractic.
Don't go into
Too
right,
chiropractic.
hard.
yep.
But if your
Well,
goal is to change the humanity, to save the world through chiropractic
Hmm.
and make a good living, because it doesn't have to be either or.
No.
We
no,
we do have a model that works, and we've
Yeah.
proven it's been proven time and time again. We've trained with some of the best chiropractors in the world.
No question.
Freddie Schofield to CJ to Ben and Greg. We've got a knowledge base and experience. We've done it,
Yeah.
and we can help kids learn that. I think
Boy,
that's incumbent upon us to do that.
Sid, Parker.
Oh,
yeah.
this goes on and on and on.
How old
Absolutely.
are we?
There are mountain ranges younger than us.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Photoshop this up for us, Brad. We need
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah,
I got no skills with that. I'm too old.
Maybe you know how my background is blurred? Maybe I can blur my face and let the background be.
There you go.
Correct. Sign me up. Sign me up.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're still in great shape for, let's say, mature gentlemen.
Oh
There
my
you go.
God, yes, absolutely.
Keep telling
Seasoned,
us. Seasoned, well
seasoned.
seasoned. Yeah. Not over seasoned, well seasoned.
I gotta tell you, on that transatlantic crossing, Lisa and I were two of the youngest people on the ship.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
We were in like the top 5% as far as age goes, or
Really?
youth goes.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess
At
who has
one
time to
point, I
go a
walked to the
month on a
back.
cruise ship?
Was that?
Who has who has time to go on a month on a cruise ship? You
Yeah,
know,
I
they're
know.
either raising families or working jobs
Yeah.
or running business or both.
At one point, I walked to the back of the ship, which is the solarium, which has the indoor pool and the indoor hot tubs. And I walked back there, and pardon my language, I felt like I was in the effing movie Cocoon. I'm not kidding. Steam coming up, all
That's
these
funny.
people jumping. Yeah, and I came out. And I told Lisa, I said they kicked me out. They carded me. They said I wasn't old enough to be back here.
Oh my goodness.
Well, the good news, Mike, is though, after 10 o'clock, the ship was yours.
Yeah, no kidding. 10:30 to 11. After the last show let out, empty. It was
Yep.
crazy. It was like a ghost ship.
Don't try to get coffee at 5:30 though, because there's a line.
Oh, I will tell you though, in the month I was out there, I probably I adjusted like 5 people. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I mean, they fine you, right?
Right.
They fine you.
The
So
word gets out.
yeah,
It's, good.
yeah. One there was one person in the group. I don't know what she did, but it was something to do with dancing or whatever. And the next morning, couldn't move. Went down to the ship's hospital and had X-rays taken. And somebody had told her that their group had a chiropractor, and she asked if I would see her. So I went to her room. I told her first, see if you can't get the X-rays. They were horrendous. They were
Right.
and this ship is only a couple years old. You think they'd have digital films, right? It was ridiculous. So I figured we were in international waters. It was okay to adjust her.
I like it. I like it. Good
And I
move.
got to tell you, you chiropractic, who knows? But the next day she was doing well, and she got to enjoy the rest of her cruise. So
Well, I liked, Mike, that you said yes, and I'm Dr. Brad Robinson.
yeah,
Norfolk, Virginia.
yeah. I told her at that point I told her my name was Don Shlomoda, right? From
Exactly. That's good.
because the next day somebody else called and showed up. No, it was fun.
That's
So
fun. That's good. Yeah, the word gets out, right? That's how
uh,
it's supposed to be.
you do it for the right reasons.
Yep.
I think a chiropractor would do great on a cruise ship.
I think so
With
too.
the at the age of the people, the beds, the things. I mean, you could walk around like Doc from the Love Boat
Yeah,
in white.
I honestly do. I mean, my experience in a month was 5 people needed me. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, if they had it available, right? Truly available.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
The old simple and easy, right? Keep it simple, keep it easy.
Simple and easy.
Yeah, that's
Tap
true.
here, tap your credit card here.
That's right.
No, no, your ship card, man.
Oh, your ship card, yeah.
Oh yeah, there was no money really. This was a non-tipping prepaid
Right.
cruise the whole month. Yeah, I mean you tip these guys anyway, but still, yeah, yeah.
Nice. Nice. So how much longer you got down there, Brad?
I'll be coming back on the 27th. We
Nice.
go to like today we go on an 8-day cruise to the Great Barrier Reef, come back, spend the night here in Sydney, and then fly off to New Zealand for 4 days.
Excellent.
I'm
Awesome.
gonna actually go to Auckland, so I'm gonna stop at the chiropractic school there.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
good.
Take a look at it. See if Heidi's
Take your sign.
there you go.
Yeah, take your sign.
And then we fly
You will
back.
definitely be escorted out.
Yeah.
Well, you could just
Think how
put
much good you can do before you get escorted
There you
out.
go.
you can just put USA chiropractor. You don't have to put anything else.
That's it.
Ask us how it is in the US, right?
Your sign should say, "The power that made the body heals the body. Change my mind."
I like it. There you
There you
go.
go.
Right?
There you go. I
So
like it. I like it.
cool.
Well,
So why
good.
don't you guys, between now and the next call, just shoot me three topics that you think we should cover,
Okay.
Got it.
and I'll write down three, and then the ones that are all the same, we'll start with first, and then we'll get to the other ones.
Okay.
Good?
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys.
Sweet.
Next.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah.
All I can say is Mike and I do not want another crappy t-shirt. I mean, I know Mike got me something better. Uh, so I want it to be unique and special and
Okay.
kind of expensive.
Kind of expensive. Okay. I can
In
do that.
US dollars. I'm just kidding.
So,
It looks like December 17th. It's a Tuesday. Would work. Is that good for you
Sounds
guys?
good. Yep.
yeah, it absolutely. I mean, I just heard the 17th for some reason. I don't know what it was.
And we can do the week
Yep, no, it's
before
good
if you
by me.
prefer.
Nah, Thatcher's got a little Christmas musical thing at school, but it's I won't. I'll be in Berlin, so
Okay.
yeah, it's good. Bottom line,
All
I'm
right,
good.
guys.
Perfect. All right.
Good.
Have a great time, Brad.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, enjoy
Appreciate you.
yourself.
This isn't this pretty wild that I'm
Yeah.
16 hours ahead of you guys and we're able to do
Yeah.
this like we're in the same room. This
And
is
what's even weirder is you're still a Detroit fan too.
hey, we're 8-1.
He's a Dragon fan.
A
I'm a Dragon
dragon. There
fan.
you go.
Yeah.
Go Harry
Go
Potter.
Dragons.
Yeah.
All
Just
right,
don't
guys.
be
Take
dragging on the
care.
floor.
Stay
Thanks,
well.
guys.
See ya.
Take care.